snow.
Get out here now. Put that down.
Fuck that. This thing old cunt kill Marky and Carl.
I told you to put it down. Come on, Harry. You're not going to shoot a kid when there's two coppers upstairs, are you?
He killed Leonard.
He swore to me that he didn't. Now, what am I supposed to do? It's my sister's boy. He's blood.
Blood? Do you want to see Leonard's blood? These fucking animals filmed the whole thing on their fucking phones.
I defended him when I shouldn't have. But I can't let you shoot him, Harry. I can't have that. You all right, Harry? You okay, me old mate?
Officers need assistance.
Hey? Yeah. Told you I fucked you, didn't I, eh? You fucking slag.
You see this? This is the sort of thing I'm talking about. It's not a fucking game. Now in future, you do as you are fucking told.
Go on, fucking look at me. It'll be the last fucking thing you see when you die.
God, do me a favor. Do it. Pull the trigger.
At the outset of the film, Harry is depicted waking up in bed while gazing at an old photograph. He rises and uses his asthma inhaler, revealing his solitude in the house as he consumes bread with jam. Following his meal, he methodically washes the dishes. A sudden, loud scream from a woman interrupts the quiet, prompting Harry to glance out the window. However, he quickly dismisses it, recognizing it as a common occurrence in the neighborhood. Shortly thereafter, Harry prepares to leave his home and walks alone down the street. He notices a tunnel filled with music but checks his watch and decides to continue on his way. Harry then enters a hospital to visit his beloved wife. He tenderly caresses her, but she remains unresponsive due to her poor condition. The scene transitions to a bar where Harry is seen just before Len arrives, and they engage in a game of chess. Len inquires about Kath's condition, and Harry confesses that she is deteriorating and may not even be aware of his visits. However, Len maintains that she does. At that moment, they observe a couple of individuals dealing drugs nearby. Len expresses his discontent to Harry, noting that the situation is worsening, but Harry appears indifferent. Later that night, Harry is disturbed by a loud banging noise. He approaches the window and witnesses a group of thugs vandalizing a car. When the car's owner attempts to defend his property, he is brutally attacked by the assailants. Harry, visibly reluctant, returns to sleep. At midnight, Harry receives a phone call that dramatically shifts his expression from drowsy to alarmed. He rushes out into the rain and makes his way to the hospital, only to find that his wife has passed away, prompting him to break down in tears. The scene concludes with Harry placing flowers in memory of his beloved wife. Len, Harry's friend, arrives and takes him to the same bar where they engage in a game of chess. During their time together, Harry recounts a story from his days in the Marine Corps, mentioning that a fellow Marine named Bob played a significant role in helping him meet his wife. He reminisces about a memorable night spent dancing with her. Len notes that Harry has rarely discussed his time in the Marines and inquires if he ever took a life during his service. Harry refrains from answering directly, stating, "You can't ask me that." Len apologizes, and Harry confides that he left his military identity behind long ago when he met his wife. In the men's restroom, Len expresses his fears about their neighborhood, describing the residents as savage. He recounts an incident where he was spat upon and had dog feces placed in his mailbox. Frustrated, he brandishes a knife, declaring that he is tired of being pushed around. Harry intervenes, urging him to reconsider this course of action. Len feels disheartened, believing that Harry would empathize with his situation, and exits the restroom visibly upset. Later that night, a fire is set in Len's house, filling it with smoke. Upon discovering the blaze, Len quickly rushes to the front door to extinguish it, coughing as he yells and curses at those responsible for the act. The following day, 2 police officers arrive at Harry's home. They enter with serious expressions and request to sit down for a conversation. After settling in, Harry learns that Len was involved in a grave incident the previous night. The officer gently delivers the tragic news: Len has died. Stunned, Harry seeks clarification on how this could have happened and discovers that Len was assaulted and found on a random street. Harry mentions that he and Len had played chess the day before and recalls Len expressing concerns about some local youths without naming anyone specific. After their discussion, the officer departs, leaving Harry to grapple with the devastating loss of his friend, leading him to break down in tears. Officer Alice, who is recently transferred to this precinct, is accompanied by her partner. When questioned about her decision to move, she remains silent. Subsequently, they visit the residence of a man named Noel, armed with a search warrant. Noel, who exhibits signs of substance abuse, uses derogatory language towards Alice. The officers promptly arrest him on suspicion of murder. Noel's mother reacts with distress, prompting him to request permission to speak with her in order to calm her down. After Alice grants this request, he instructs his mother to contact his uncle for legal assistance. Alice and her partner have apprehended 4 individuals believed to be involved in the murder case. When confronted by the police, these suspects refuse to cooperate or acknowledge Len. One of them, Mark, appears visibly anxious but denies being frightened when questioned by Alice. Dean, who is under the influence, also declines to provide any information. Carl expresses indifference towards the police presence, questioning their absence during his brother's death. In response, Alice probes whether Carl's actions were a means of self-defense against Len, which makes him uncomfortable and leads him to respond with no comment. Noel similarly refuses to engage, asserting that without concrete evidence, he should be allowed to leave. Mark, the most vulnerable among them, reveals his troubled past in foster care and admits to previously lying about his experiences for his own benefit. Meanwhile, Noel continues to disrespect Alice by making inappropriate comments about her. Despite his provocations, she maintains her composure and points out his loss of control in the interrogation room. Nevertheless, Noel dismisses her authority and mocks Len's photographs. The scene shifts to Harry visiting Len's grave in a cemetery, before transitioning to a bar where a woman is singing while Harry sits alone, drinking. The bartender inquires if Harry has had enough to drink, noting that he has been at the bar for an extended period. Harry decides to settle his tab and takes out his wallet, which catches the attention of a nearby drug addict who observes the amount of money he has. After leaving the bar, Harry walks along a path where he is confronted by the same addict, who attempts to rob him. The assailant threatens Harry. Harry draws a knife and stabs the man in self-defense. Following the incident, Harry returns home. Once inside, he removes his blood-stained clothing and takes a shower. As he prepares for bed, he glances beside him, revealing his sense of loss for his wife. The next day, Alice visits Harry, and he invites her in. Upon seeing a photograph, Alice realizes that he served in the Marines. She also notices a chess set, prompting Harry to enthusiastically explain that he is learning to play chess. However, he soon recognizes that he is digressing from the main topic. Alice then informs him that they have discovered the murder weapon, which is military grade and bears Len's fingerprints. Harry quickly acknowledges that he was aware Len possessed the weapon, having received it from his father. Alice expresses concern that this information may lead the court to view the incident as self-defense, resulting in the young offenders not being charged with murder. Distressed by this revelation, Harry asks Alice to leave, but she reassures him that she will keep him updated on any developments. Afterward, Harry retrieves an old box of memories, uncovering a knitted item that reads "I love you," likely made by his wife. He also discovers an old knife within the box. Subsequently, Harry departs for Len's house, only to find it completely charred and in ruins, with damaged walls and broken windows. Harry enters the residence and discovers an old photograph of Len and his wife. He observes the familiar tunnel from Len's window and notices individuals engaging in drug transactions nearby. Shortly thereafter, a couple approaches the tunnel. The male companion verbally abuses the woman and assaults her boyfriend when he intervenes. Following the altercation, the couple flees the scene. Later that evening, Harry tracks a drug user and knocks on his door, expressing an interest in conducting business. Upon entering the house, one of the individuals, referred to as Stretch, brandishes a firearm at Harry. However, another individual manages to calm Stretch down. Harry expresses his desire to acquire a gun, to which Stretch inquires about his intentions. Harry fabricates a story, claiming he wishes to shoot pigeons from his rooftop. Stretch then exits the room, with Harry following him. In another area of the house, Harry encounters a makeshift living space. He proceeds to another room where Stretch is watching television. The screen displays footage of Stretch interacting with an intoxicated young woman, who appears to be in distress. Feeling uncomfortable, Harry notices a girl slumped unconscious on the couch. Stretch then offers Harry the opportunity to engage with her for a fee. As they sit in silence, another man enters carrying a bag filled with firearms. He methodically removes each gun from the bag and provides a description of them. Concerned for the unconscious girl, Harry suggests they should take her to the hospital or at least call for an ambulance. Stretch, however, refuses and threatens Harry with the gun, instructing him to pick up a firearm and leave before he becomes violent. At that moment, the girl begins to cough, prompting Harry to distract one of the men by complimenting her appearance. Taking advantage of the distraction, Harry stabs the man in the arm and draws his weapon. However, Stretch aims his gun at Harry and pulls the trigger, only to find that his firearm is empty. Seizing the opportunity, Harry shoots the other individual and fires multiple rounds at Stretch as he attempts to flee. Harry pursues Stretch, who has fallen to the ground, and mocks him for failing to maintain his weapon. He recounts a story about a soldier who met a similar fate before fatally shooting Stretch. Afterward, Harry carries the girl to his car. Before departing, he collects all available weapons from the scene and sets the location ablaze. He then takes the girl to the hospital, leaves her some cash, and honks the horn as he drives away. Meanwhile, Alice is informed in her office that her investigation is progressing slowly. Her supervisor emphasizes that any activities related to firearms or associated crimes will no longer be tolerated. Subsequently, Harry visits a church and donates all of his money. Alice later visits the girl and contemplates why someone would kill two drug dealers yet choose to save her. That night, Harry observes the tunnel through a broken window and notices a man meeting with Neil to request money. The man threatens Neil before calling Mark to join him in the car. Later, Mark is seen delivering a head to the man, but just as he finishes, Harry shoots the man in the head. Mark, feeling frightened, finds himself at Len's house alongside Harry. Bound and restrained, Mark is questioned by Harry about Len, but he claims to have no information and refuses to cooperate. In response, Harry resorts to whipping and torturing Mark, threatening him with a gun and stating that he will shoot both of his kneecaps. Eventually, Mark begins to speak, revealing that an elderly man had come to threaten him and his friends, mentioning that his friends had assaulted Len. Harry is skeptical of this account, but Mark insists he has recorded the incident on his phone. Harry retrieves the phone and views a video of his best friend being brutally murdered by thugs. He then inquires about the identity of the assailant. The scene shifts to Neil, who is seen flirting and kissing a girl, while others are also engaged in similar activities beneath the tunnel. Noel notices Carl approaching them, limping and in tears, warning that a man is armed. As the goons draw their weapons and advance towards Mark, one of them panics and opens fire, inadvertently hitting Mark. Harry, positioned on the opposite side, finishes off both Mark and the other assailant. Noel manages to escape as Harry chases after him, but Harry's asthma suddenly flares up, incapacitating him. Before losing consciousness, he discards his gun into the river. He regains consciousness in the hospital, where Alice and her partner are present. They inquire if he witnessed anything unusual near the tunnel, but a nurse intervenes, instructing them to leave. Subsequently, Alice and her partner visit the location where Harry was discovered. Alice has come to suspect that Harry is responsible for the events that transpired. She approaches her superior to request permission to pursue an investigation into Harry regarding these incidents. Despite her superior's skepticism, Alice insists on her belief in Harry's involvement. Later, her superior informs her of a promotion and suggests she take the weekend off. That evening, police officers conduct a raid on the building, apprehending numerous individuals involved in drug use. The suspects resist arrest, leading to several confrontations, while some attempt to flee but are captured. Harry awakens and disconnects his saline drip, witnessing riots occurring outside as he exits the hospital. Alice informs her partner that Harry has left the hospital and may attempt to confront Neil. Her partner acknowledges that while Neil is troublesome, he decides to intervene nonetheless. As they drive, a rioter throws paint on their windshield, causing their vehicle to collide with another car. Alice's partner sustains serious injuries. At that moment, Harry arrives and rescues both Alice and her partner. Harry transports them to a bar, where Sid, the bartender, goes to call for an ambulance. Overcome with emotion, Alice asks Harry where this violence will end and reveals that Neil's uncle is Sid, warning that if Harry kills Neil, Sid will retaliate. Upon hearing this, Harry confronts Sid in the basement, aiming his gun at him and holding him accountable for his actions. Sid calls out for Neil and attempts to defend him. To substantiate his claims about Neil's wrongdoing, Harry shows Sid the video recorded by Mark. Nonetheless, Sid insists that Neo cannot kill him. As Harry struggles to breathe and grows weak, Sid seizes the opportunity, disarms Harry, and shoots him. Meanwhile, upstairs, Alice calls for help but is violently thrown down by Noel, who assaults her and makes derogatory comments. Sid expresses frustration towards Noel for his reckless behavior and instructs Neil to eliminate everyone involved and dispose of their bodies. In a display of brutality, Sid kills Alice's partner while Noel begins to choke Alice, demanding that she look him in the eyes. Just as Alice is on the brink of losing consciousness, Harry draws a concealed pistol and shoots Noel in the neck. In the ensuing chaos, Sid shoots Harry in the shoulder. As Alice gasps for air, Sid approaches Harry with the intent to finish him off. However, backup that Alice had previously summoned arrives just in time, with 2 lasers aimed at Sid's chest. Before he can harm Harry further, Sid is shot in the chest. Later, Alice attends a conference where her superior states that there is no evidence of a vigilante presence. This implies that Harry will not face any legal repercussions for his actions. The scene shifts to Harry walking towards the tunnel, which now appears calm and serene, bathed in bright light. He approaches the tunnel, signifying that his efforts have contributed to a newfound sense of peace in the area. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.